What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another player prop talk live stream right here in the channel. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Happy Thursday morning to everybody. 8/8. No, is it 8/8? Yeah, 8/8/24. Lot of Kobe Bryant numbers in this date. I like it. Appreciate y'all being here on the stream. If you're new to the stream, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Here's what we're doing. We're looking to build some slips today. We're looking to locate value. We're looking to figure out whether plays are good or bad or profitable or not profitable. We're going to be using a few resources. We're going to be dipping out of PrizePicks and Underdog and Better Fantasy and whatever other pick'em site you want to take a look at today. We got a few tools that we use here on the stream. We'll get to those in a second. But per usual, we start off every live stream with #blessed. Tons and tons of people die every night in their sleep. Or maybe not in their sleep, but they're not here today. You are, so you're blessed. Pretty simple. Not a whole lot that's better than waking up, unless you wake up and then sign up on Better using my QR code. That would be a great start to your day, because you get a first-time deposit match. You get to lock in promos throughout the week whenever they drop them. Pretty cool site, and payouts are very fast. I think payouts are within 24 hours. So if you need to get your hands on that money, they'll make sure it's in your account pretty quickly. We're going to be using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer to help us find value across the industry today. If you want to check out OddsJam for yourself, you want to sign up, 30% off your first month. That's my promo code. We're going to use it right here live on the stream, so you get to see it in real time. We're also going to be using props.cash. If you want to sign up for props.cash, do so using my promo code, 25% off your first month. We're going to be going back and forth between a few of these resources. And hopefully we can build out some slips today. I do want to take a look real quick at a few slips that hit for the Discord yesterday. A lot of jabs yesterday, not any haymakers, unfortunately, well, at least not for me. But a lot of jabs. Yesterday, we talked about jabs and haymakers. This week has been a lot of jabs, a lot of setups. We have not landed the overhand right yet. But yesterday, oh so close to cashing out on another 6 pick on Underdog. Jack Draper really, this one was sitting in my account for a few days and it looked good. I mean, it was 5 for 5 at one point, and we just needed Draper to bring it on home, and he did not. Another play that almost hit yesterday was this 6 pick. Joe Adele goes over total bases. Everybody else did their job. Put a 3 pick in on Better before the stream. I shared this in the Discord yesterday. This one hit 3 for 3. 10 gets you 5x. So I've been playing around with the 3 picks on Better a little more lately, because Better offers hits and total base props, and there are a lot of them at 0.5. So I try to take advantage of the ones that I like that are at 0.5. And I've just been playing around with this format, and it's been okay. I mean, I've hit, I think, 2 out of 4. So I'll keep playing around with this, but I like these 3 picks, especially these hits props. They're fun. But again, just a lot of jabs. No haymaker yet. So hopefully today is that day we could throw a haymaker and cash out. But We're going to pull up the odds jam, a fantasy optimizer now, and we're going to start taking a look at some value. As always, feel free to put your questions, feel free to put your player prop inquiries in the chat, and we can look at everything together. All right, we got the odds jam optimizer pulled up. If you've not seen this before, this is what it looks like. Let me, there you go. Maybe that works better. Maybe not, actually. Yeah, there's really nothing in that top right corner that you need to like know. And I don't want to move the screen around to where it's blocking a play. So I think this is the best spot for it. All right. Hunter Green under fantasy score. I also saw his under strikeouts at 7.5 earlier this morning. I do want to take a look at this on props.cash and figure out why this is going under when the matchup feels like a good one against the Marlins. A couple esports plays that you could look at. Alexer or Alexer over 7 first map headshots, and then Grilks under first 2 map kills at 33.5. There's a bit more value now than there was a few hours ago on PrizePicks, but still just not a lot. If you've been following the stream this week, at least this week, you've noticed that in the morning PrizePicks, the plays just aren't popping as hard as the plays on underdog. There's way more value for us on underdog. So there's a little bit more today on PrizePicks. Springer over fantasy score today. Got Gomber under his strikeouts. I saw a line yesterday on Fliff. 14, I think it was at 14.5 total runs for this game. 14. Doesn't sound like there's going to be a whole lot of striking out in this game. So going under on Gomber might make sense to you. It is in Colorado. It is a Coors Field game. I think it is. That's pretty much it for PrizePicks. Let's check out underdog. As you saw in the winning slips, underdog has been pretty good this week in terms of value and in terms of profit. There are more options for underdog, so it allows you to make more slips. The more slips you make with the right plays, the more profit. That's how that works. So kicking it off, you see Hunter Green under his fantasy score. So we're definitely going to have to take a look at why this is going under against this Marlins team. You have a MMA prop at the top with Tabora under his total takedowns. Just one data point available to us, so there's really no set line on this one. Stephanie Talbot. This game starts in about an hour and a half. Oh, it's tomorrow. Never mind. This game starts in about 27 hours. So you have time to put this in your slip. Under 4.5 assists. You have Ezzy over her rebounds. Conforto under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Wembanyama has been on this value or on this optimizer since yesterday. And I'm sure his lines will start to bump at some point. But this one is still looking good, over 27.5 PR. You got Wagner over 24.5 PR. Castellanos over a single. Montas over strikeouts. Lindor under bases. Doc over 6 first map headshots. Ali Sanchez under 0.5 bases. The problem with Sanchez is every time I pick him, he gets scratched. So I need to make sure this dude is actually in the damn lineup today. Otherwise, everything looks good. Got a good amount of support here. Super low line. Matchup against Hunter Green. Hunter Henry does not play baseball for the Reds. Yeah, so got a bad matchup. In my opinion, it's a tough matchup for him. So going under on his bases makes sense. Jokic over his points and assists at 27.5. You can see the other books have it at 28. So this one is coming in lower. Yeah, just way more value on underdog, as you can see. Going over to Better Fantasy, we'll take a look at what they're offering right now. Quite a few PGA props on Better today. So it does open up some options. But you see Parker Meadows over hits, good amount of support here. Alvarez under, Stallings under, Bruhan. Now this is intriguing because you're getting a 0.5 line on hits, runs, and RBI, so he can hit a sac fly and go over this line. He can get on with a walk and score a run. He goes over. He can get a single. He goes over. So there's a lot of upside on this one. Soto over runs. Yeah, so there's a lot to work with on Better as well. A lot of support for these plays on Better. So let's see if we can't build out a slip. Shit, I'm just knocking the table all over the damn place. What's up, Rosalie? Good morning. Kyle Schwarber over hits, runs, RBIs. Adames over hits, runs, and RBIs. Top 2 plays for today. I'm sure they'll be removed soon. Let's see. Let's go over to PrizePicks. Let's pull up the dashboard. Let's see what's going on. So remember on PrizePicks, you have this promo, Curry and Brames, Lejean Brames, and Kevin Surrey over 22.5 combined points. Their OG line is at 26.5. I'm gonna be honest with you all. I played the over and under on this one. I built out a 6 pick. I don't know who just got removed. The Wagner Bros, Micic over threes, Davis over rebounds, and I took the under on this prop. It's being discounted for a reason. Nothing ever gets discounted because the pick'em sites want to help you. It's being discounted for a reason. It was probably getting heavy juice to go under that line, so they drop it to a more favorable line. It's probably closer to where it should be, 22.5. But I went under in one slip and then I went over on the other one. That's what I did with this one. There's a good discrepancy between these two to where you can middle it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Obviously, what I'm looking for is for them to finish between 23 points and 26 points. They hit both. And the rest of the plays in the slip also hit, then we're looking at a 50x combined on those 2 slips. So that's what I'm doing with that promo. So don't forget about it. If you haven't used it yet, then what we can do is start your slip off with that one. I could have just deleted the whole damn slip. I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna go over. And then we're going to start off with Schwarber over hits, runs, RBIs, and Adames over hits, runs, and RBIs. We'll check out these over on props.cash. And then I do want to pull, and that's Paul Goldschmidt. I do want to pull up the Hunter Green. What if Paul Goldschmidt is a good play and I just randomly selected him? I'm just going to leave him in there for now. And we can look him up on props.cash too. Who knows? I think that actually happened on the stream where I accidentally clicked on the player's name. And when we looked it up and researched it, it was a really good play. All right, so pitcher strikeouts for Hunter Green. It got bumped down from 7.5 to 7. So that tells you maybe the public was on the under. Maybe they felt that was a little too high. If we take a look at the pitcher fantasy score, I'm going to go under on this one just because that's what the optimizer was showing. But I want to look into this one. So let's go to props.cash. We got a lot to look into, and then we'll see what stands out. So over on props.cash, I already have this game pulled up with Hunter Green versus the Marlins. Minus 150 to go over 6.5 strikeouts. So this one is now at 7. When we bump this up to 7, we can see that in his last 10 games, he's hit 7 or more in 3, 4, 5, 6 of those games. When it was at 7.5, the hit rate is not that great, 40% hit rate. So it does make sense why it got bumped down. Earned runs. Well, if you're interested in what he's done against the Marlins, no games this season. The Marlins on the year striking out at a 23% rate to right-handed pitching. That's actually the league, about the league average. 23% is not great, and that shows you how many teams are worse than them. If that's almost the league average. Earned runs today, he's projected to give up more than 1, so 2 earned runs. And then in terms of pitching outs, he's projected to go under 18.5. So despite him going over this line in 50% of his last 10 and 60% of his last 5, he's projected to go under at 18, roughly. We can say 18, maybe it's even like 17 outs. But if he gets you 18 pitching outs, he gives up 2 earned runs. That's 12 fantasy points. And he gets you, 7 strikeouts. That's 21. That's 21 fantasy points plus 12. That's 33 fantasy points. Is that right? Did I just mess that math up? Let's do it again. 18 plus 21. 18 plus 21 is 39. 39 minus 6. It's 33. If Hunter Green gets the quality start bonus, that's 37. At that point, he would need the win to get him over fantasy points. So I guess it makes sense why the under is in play, but it feels wrong to take the under against the Marlins. Last 5 right-handed pitchers against the Marlins. Let's see what they've done. Nick Martinez, 5 strikeouts. Grant Holmes, 4. Charlie Morton, just 6 for Charlie Morton. Wow. We got to go all the way back to July 20th to find a pitcher that was at 7 or more. Severino goes over. Spears goes over. There's Blanco, there's Pavetta, there's Bello, there's Crawford, there's Nola, there's Lugo. So, yeah, outside of, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The last 10 right-handed pitchers who have faced the Marlins haven't even gotten you 7, let alone 8. So it does make sense, I guess, why Hunter Green's number got bumped down. It just feels wrong taking the under on his pitcher fantasy score. So if you want to keep him in this lineup, you can. 41 is a pretty big number, but if this guy goes out and strikes out 8 batters and doesn't give up any earned runs, he's going for 50, 60 fantasy points. Like, that's 41 is way too low. He has to get rocked. He has to give up 3 earned runs and go really under on his strikeouts. So I'm still up in the air on this one. Let's look at Willy Adames over his Willy Adames versus Charlie Morton today. So let's see. Charlie Morton's numbers over his last 10, a lot more down than up. Milwaukee striking out 23% of the time versus righties. BVP, let's find Adames. Adames is only hitting 80. That's not 83%. That's 8%. He's having a rough time against Morton. 50% strikeout rate. So he has 6 strikeouts against Charlie Morton. So Charlie Morton's really had his number the last few games. Let's take a look at what Adames has done when he's not facing Charlie Morton. So Adames is coming off 2 games where he produced 12 hits, runs, and RBIs. Over his last 10, he's averaging 3, basically the same over his last 5. In this time frame, he has 3 home runs. We can take a look at his hits, runs, and RBIs today. He is projected to go over this line. You have 2 books that are giving you support. He is projected for a run, an RBI, and a hit. So there's your 3. But his numbers against Morton, he does have 1 home run. So if he happens to get a home run today, that line gets crushed. So there's that possibility. Plus 450 odds to go over this line of 0.5 home run. Let's take a look at Kyle Schwarber. Same thing, hits, runs, and RBIs for this dude. First of all, his home run line plus 340. He has 7 home runs in his last 10. He's heating up. Yesterday we talked about heating up, right? We talked about Yordan Alvarez, how the numbers were showing the under on his fantasy score, I think it was. And I mentioned that him coming off a game where he just hit a home run, I feel like he's starting to heat up. Well, he hit another home run last night. So sometimes you just, I think over time, you learn to stay away from certain players, or when it's time to get on certain players. I think that's just part of playing player props. You just develop a sense for things. You're not a fucking superhero with a sixth sense here, but I think just over time you develop, a little bit more experience. So you can maybe feel when a player's about to start going off. You look at their numbers and see that, hey, this guy's coming off a 5-6 game skid where he didn't get 1 hit. He's due. And if you jump on that train early enough and you ride that out, you're going to make some profit. So I think what we saw with Yordan was a good example yesterday. But here's Kyle Schwarber, who has 7 home runs in his last 10 games, who has almost a hit in every single game. He's averaging over a hit in every game over his last 10, but 8 out of the last 10 games, he has at least 1 hit. His head-to-head numbers with the Diamondbacks, pretty strong. His numbers against Jordan Montgomery, not that great. He just has 1 hit in 5 plate appearances, which is a single. That alone is not going to get it done. Typically against lefties, we see Kyle Schwarber mash, 338 batting average, 26% strikeout rate. But this season, he has 10 homers, 14 against righties. Montgomery versus left-handed bats has not allowed a home run yet. So he's doing a good job of keeping the ball in the park. So I guess you can play this a few different ways. If you're going to go with the matchup, Montgomery's not a guy that's giving up a ton of power to lefties. If you want to go with the batter side of things and just try to ride this wave that Kyle Schwarber has been on as of late, at this point, there's only one way to go, and it's down, right? We've seen this. This is a game of ups and downs. If you feel like this is going to continue, then you're on top of this. If you feel like, hey, this is where you jump off and maybe you take the under on some of his props, that makes sense too. I wish the matchup had a little bit more to it. This doesn't feel good. And the fact that Montgomery has not been hit hard by lefties at all this season. it's not. Kyle Schwarber's not even heating up. He's been heated. He's hot. Like he's just on a hot streak right now. So he's not heating up anymore. The kettle on the stove is boiling hot right now. So if you want to take advantage of that, you got a lot of game logs right there. All right. Nice, Travis. Congrats. Tyler Stevenson might be more comfortable. Let's check out Tyler Stevenson. Let's see. All right. So Tyler Stevenson over his last 10, 50%, 80%. Today's projection, 2 books like the over. I thought that said Kyle Tucker at first. First time facing this pitcher, right-handed pitching. Let's see. Right-handed pitching on the season, 8 homers, 13 extra base hits, well, 21 extra base hits. Tyler versus righties. Yeah, he hasn't pitched a whole lot, so it's hard to get a read on him versus batters. I think the better angle is versus righties, since there's no BVP, and just see what some of these guys have done against righties. You got De La Cruz in there. Man, the strikeouts versus righties is unreal. 31%, 42%. There's some strikeouts in here. Oh, there's some strikeouts in here. Yeah, this one looks fine too. Yeah. All right. I wonder what his strikeout prop is today. Let's see. Tyler today has a prop of 3.5. Gone over this in 3 of his last 5, but 3, 6, 7 games. He only has 7 games on the season, so yeah, not a lot of data. And you got Cincinnati striking out at a 25% clip versus right-handed pitching. That's a lot of strikeouts. Also, Cincinnati can put it on a pitcher too. So even though they strike out a lot, I mean, we saw it what, Tuesday when Rodri Munoz was pitching. I think that was the game where De La Cruz had 2 home runs. I mean, that game got out of hand real fast. I mean, they can put up runs in a heartbeat. So just because they strike out a lot doesn't mean that this pitcher is going to go out there and just shut them out. But 3.5 feels a little low, and the matchup is a good matchup. Did Schwarber have 3 home runs last night, or did PrizePicks creep that up? Schwarber has 7 home runs in his last 5 games. I don't know if 3 of them came against one pitcher. Let's see. We just looked at Schwarber. So Kyle Schwarber had 14. Yeah, he had 3 home runs last night. He had 14 total bases last night. So not only did he hit 3 home runs, but he also hit a double. He was pretty busy. That is a lot of production. That is insane. That is insane. He has been destroying this Dodgers pitching staff. I mean, just the series alone against the Dodgers, this dude has 21 hits, runs, and RBIs, and he has 4 home runs. 4 home runs, 21 hits, runs, and RBIs. How many times did he strike out against the Dodgers? Just 2 times. 4 times. Okay. Man, that's probably his best series all season. Wow. Yeah, we looked at his hits, runs, and RBIs. Everything looks good. Like his projection looks good. Obviously his game logs look good. He has 2 books that like the over on this one that we can see. His matchup against Jordan Montgomery isn't a bad one. He just hasn't had a lot of success in just 5 plate appearances. It's a pretty small sample size, but we're going over hits, runs, and RBIs for him. So he has a single. You know, we're not needing him to go for another 3 home runs. You know, if he got you a single today, he would then just need to score a run or drive in a run. If he's leading off, he's not going to drive in a run in the first inning unless he hits a home run. So if he goes over this early, it's going to be because he got on base and, you know, Harper drove him in or Turner drove him in or whoever. So if he goes over this in his first at bat, it's because he hit a home run. Because if he's leading off, there's nobody on base. So he might just be too hot to handle right now. Like he might just be too hot to ignore. That's insane, dude. 14 total bases. All right. So we were looking at, I want to look up this Paul Goldschmidt just because I accidentally clicked on his name. But sometimes we find value in unlikely places. Let's see if this was even something to consider. Nah, just seeing if there was anything there. Yeah, I accidentally clicked on his name. And if it looked good, I was going to keep him in the lineup, but I'm not going to worry about that. So here's what we have so far. Okay, James and Curry over points, their combo. Adames over his hits, runs, and RBIs. You got Schwarber over his runs and RBIs. And then you have Hunter Green going under his pitcher fantasy score. As bad as the Marlins have been, over the last 10 right-handed pitchers, or the last 10 right-handed pitchers that have faced them have not gone over strikeout prop. In fact, none of them have gotten you 7 strikeouts, let alone 8 strikeouts, which is what Hunter Green needs today. So we did the math. If he goes out there and strikes out 10 batters, then we're going to lose this prop. But in the event he goes out there and strikes out 7 and he goes 18 innings and he gives up 2 earned runs, even with the quality star bonus, it's not 42 points. So I feel a little bit more comfortable going under on his fantasy score. You don't have to play that one if you don't want to. I was a little hesitant at first when I saw it, and after doing the math and digging into it, it did make a bit more sense. This is actually right where we had him finishing, like in this 38 range when we did our math. 37, I think it was, 38. You got 3 books that like the under on this one. So Montas over 4.5 strikeouts today. And Montas can get rocked too. Not the same Braves team. This isn't last year's Braves team. This team is way worse this season. They're just not the same team. Missing some key pieces, obviously, but it's not as scary of a matchup as it was a year ago. Let's check out this Montas play. We're going to try to build out a 6-pick here on the stream. All right. Montas going over 4.5 strikeouts. You have one book favoring the under right off the bat, but you got FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM that all are favoring the over. Pinnacle's kind of up for up in the air with it. 115 over, 125 under. Obviously the juice is on the under, but not by a lot. The matchup today with the Braves does present a strong one. 25% strikeout rate to right-handed pitching. That's 5th worst in the league. When we look at BVP, Kelenic with a 333 batting average, 18% strikeout rate. Ozuna 0 for 3. You have D'Arnaud 0 for 3. Merrifield, Adam Duvall bringing in positive averages. Olsen 2 for 3. I mean, there are 5 strikeouts in this lineup, and it might be like same guy gets you strikes out twice. He doesn't have to strike out everybody on his team. Maybe 50% of this comes from the same 2 guys or something like that. His walks are terrible though. Like, what scares me about this prop is once you start walking batters and you start putting runners on, you can't go out there and pitch like you would pitch with the bases empty, because you're worried about giving up the run. You're worried about this guy trying to steal second. There's a lot going on, and so I think that takes pitchers out of their mindset. I think it does fuck with the mindset a little bit. So if this guy's letting runners on, giving them free passes, I mean, and also runners on base leads to crooked numbers on the scoreboard. So it's 0-0 now, and it's 3-0 real fast. So if Montas is giving up earned runs, 7 earned runs. He's averaging 3-4 earned runs in his last 5 and 10 games. But in these games where he's given up tons of earned runs, like in his last 5 games, he's averaging 4. How long did he pitch? In all these games, he pitched 5. There's 5 innings. There's 7 innings. In these 2 games, he got yanked early, and then there's another 5 inning, and then giving up all those runs where were his strikeouts. So what I was trying to figure out is, even if he does give up a bunch of runs, he's still getting strikeouts. So we're not taking his fantasy score, because basically this will just cancel out. You can't strike out 5 batters and then give up 5 earned runs. You're at 0. So the strikeouts are way different than fantasy score. So going over 4.5 makes sense. Even if he does give up 3 earned runs, he can match it with, strikeouts. I'm trying to shoo this mosquito. Oh, all right. Let's see if we can get 2 more in here. Appreciate y'all being here on this Thursday morning. Montas, let's go. 4 strikeouts. I'm willing to put one of these plays that are a little in the red if we get enough support. Madison Keys over 21 total games at 20 and a half total games. 21. These lines are set a little too high. Madison Keys might be the final play of this 6th pick, and then we'll move on to underdog and build out a slip on there, and then we'll end it with some better fantasy value. All right, let's pull up this Madison Keys and see if this is on the board. All right, so we're going over 20 and a half total games between Madison Keys and Peyton Stearns. This match starts at 12:30 p.m. So here's what we got. We'll go over on LeBron James and actually, I can't play this exact lineup because I already played this. Promo. So if you want to tell this, go over on the promo. Adames, Schwarber over. You got Green under, Montas over, Madison Keys and Stearns over total games. That will be a 6 pick. I got to take this one out. And I wonder if this play is still on the board. All right. I'm going to put this Micic over the 3-pointers made. And that'll be a 6 pick for today on PrizePicks. If you want to tell this, I'll throw the link in the chat. Even if you don't want to tell it, you can just pick and choose from it. All right, there's PrizePicks. Let's go to underdog. Let's build out a slip on underdog. I'll build this out on my phone because it just moves faster than this desktop. And then we got some value on underdog. I'm seeing a lot of promos. I'm seeing over Dean Kremer 2.5 strikeouts. I'm seeing Hunter Green over 5.5 strikeouts. I'm seeing Kevin Durant over 10.5 points, and I'm seeing Nikola Jokic over 15.5 points. So you can only play one of those. Out of all those plays, I mean, honestly, the one that I like the best is the Dean Kremer over 2.5 strikeouts, just because it's the lowest line. But we can look into those. All right, so let's do this. Emma Messiman under her points at 24.5. That one has a lot of support. Under Talbot, are they on the same team? No. Okay, good. Under Talbot, 5.5 assist. We got Ezzy over 5.5 rebounds. You got 2 data points on that one. There's 3 right there. Tovar under his hits, runs, and RBIs in this game in Coors Field. I don't know. Tyrone Taylor over 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. I hate these lines that are at 2 because the push potential is real. Let's see. This Castellanos over a single DOK or Doc. I don't know if that's his name. Johan Rojas under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Man, I feel like putting some overs in here. LeBron James over 28.5 PRA. You're seeing this number at a much higher line on these other books. And then Philippe Petrusev over 12.5 points and rebounds. This one is also coming in at a higher line on a lot of these books. That's a 6 pick right there. This 6 pick, once this updates, is a 4.4% EV and a 2.5% chance to hit. So let's see if we can get all these plays in here. You can just build this out as I'm building it out, unless you want to wait for me to put it in the chat. And we can't play that Messiman because her line got dropped on price on underdog at 23. So fuck that. We got to start over again. Got to start over again. See, now Messiman's not even on this board. We could double dip on Hunter Green. We're already going under on his fantasy score on PrizePicks. I mean, if he goes under on PrizePicks, he goes under on underdog. It's the same line. It's identical scoring system for pitchers, I believe. The downside is if he goes over, then we lose both of those bets on multiple sites. But it's player props. If you got them all right, I guarantee you wouldn't be watching YouTube streams. You'd be, I don't know, you'd be investing in startups or buying a yacht or something. But we're all in this together. All right, Talbot under assist, and we go Ezzy over her rebounds at 5.5. And I don't have to put the 6 pick in there because I have this promo play we can play. So, okay, cool. I did forget about that for a second. So we have Franz over 24.5. There's Wemby again. We could put Wemby in here. We can go Wemby. Wemby over 27.5 points and rebounds. There's a 5 pick right. No, that's a 4 pick. We got to get. I don't know why. All right. So we can put either Franz in there, or we can look at this Charlie Blackmon strikeout prop. Let's see what this Blackmon strikeout prop looks like. So minus 145 to go over. He has 3 strikeouts in his last 5. He has 7 strikeouts in his last 10. His numbers against David Peterson, he's 1 for 3 against this dude. And he has no strikeouts against this guy. Doesn't mean he can't get a strikeout today. But honestly, with strikeouts, I do like when there's a stronger BVP. I personally like those plays a little bit more. And when you have options, then it's not as appealing. Like if this is like the best play on the board and we just had to play it, I guess. But we have tons of options. We can go with Franz. I want to look up this Dean Kremer. It's 2.5 now. It got bumped down to 2.5 instead of 3.5. Remember what I said about these plays being bumped down for a reason? It's not to help us out. It's because the juice was so high on the under in the first place. Minus 142, minus 165. Too many people are taking the under on it. So that's a candidate for a promo. Caesars is now giving you over 3.5 at minus 148. BetMGM, DraftKings. So at 3.5, looking better. And I think, like I said, is at 2.5. 2.5 strikeouts. So, numbers against the Orioles, he has not gone under this line. When it's at 3.5, little different. At 4.5, little different. But at 2.5, yeah. Orioles only striking out 21% of the time. BVP. I'm sorry. Blue Jays. Blue Jays only striking out 21% of the time. He pitches for the Orioles. That one looks good. If you feel bad about taking the, under on Hunter Green's fantasy score, or if you feel like he's going to have a good game, then you should definitely play the over on his promo strikeouts on Underdog at 5.5. You're not going to find a better line than that. You get to scratch that itch and get it at a discount. So you get to it's a win-win if you're a Hunter Green fan. Yeah, I think 2.5 is just I hope it's too low. I say, oh, it's too low, and then he can't even get that shit. So we've seen that happen before. We've seen pitchers go out there like Chris Sanchez, 3.5 strikeout prop. He only got 2. So it can happen, but I love the fact that Kremer has good history against the Blue Jays. So the best play that we haven't put in a slip yet is this Franz Wagner over 24.5 points and rebounds. And after that, we're really just kind of digging into some of these lesser plays. Like LeBron James is still in play because of the line discrepancy. Petrusev is still in play because of those line discrepancies. There's Asia Wilson under 11.5 rebounds. That game is tomorrow. Asia Wilson is usually a good candidate to go under rebounds. Now, rebounds and assists is a little different, but just rebounds alone, she always gets, her lines are very high. And she always finishes. I feel like that 10-11 mark is usually where she'll land. And now we get it at 11.5, and she needs 12 now. So she needs 12 rebounds to get this over. Last game, she finished with 11 on the dot. So we are getting this nice little line of 0.5. Do y'all have any suggestions on which one y'all want to roll with for this final play in this 6 pick on underdog? What's up, Paul? Good morning. Let's refresh it real quick. If nothing changes, I'm gonna throw the Franz in there. I'll throw the Franz in there to complete the 6, and we'll move on. Brian Wu under 5 hits allowed. There's Tyrone Taylor again. There's LeBron James. Petrusev got taken off the board. LeBron James over 28.5 PRA. I like the Franz. We're going to roll with the Franz Wagner because we're getting some nice in-game correlation with him and Wemby. So when you play a promo on Underdog, it is a $10 max, which is better than $5 on PrizePicks. So the max you can put on it is $10. So I just put this in there for $10 on a 6 pick. And if this hits, then it is a total of 250. If it gets 5 out of 6, then you're looking at 25 on the $10 entry. And then if it only hits 4 out of 6, I think it's just like $1.25 or something like that. There we go. All right, if you want to tail this one, you can. Boom. All right, there's your underdog slip. Let's look. Man, that is a big mosquito. It's bitten a few people. I think mosquitoes die after they actually bite. I don't think they live very long after they actually make contact with the human. That is a massive mosquito. That's like a prehistoric mosquito. That shit looks like a hummingbird. That is a big ass mosquito. Now I'm getting worried. That thing looks like it ate other mosquitoes. I want to smash it so damn bad though. It's on my empty cup, and if I hit the cup, will go flying. So I'm gonna have to just be patient. Hopefully it lands on a wall or something. All right. Last potential slip of the stream. We're gonna see if we can build out a super duper better fantasy slip and see if we can keep the streak going of our 3 picks. I've been putting 3 pick slips in the Discord. Been experimenting with those. Those are really fun to play. I like attacking the 0.5 lines, whether they're bases, hits, runs, and RBIs, or strikeouts. Over under doesn't matter to me. Those 0.5 lines are real fun. And if you can get a lot of support, then they're actually a profitable play. So you're just having fun and winning money. So let's see if we can find some 0.5s that we like for a 3 pick over on Better. Got one right here with Vidal Brujan over his hits, runs, and RBIs. That is a really low line. Tons of upside. Now, we just talked about taking the under on Hunter Green's fantasy score. If Vidal Brujan gets a hit, this probably doesn't hurt Hunter Green at all unless he hits a home run. But you can correlate the two. Just because he goes over this line doesn't mean that Hunter Green goes out there and gets crushed. It also doesn't mean he goes out there and like strikes everybody out. So these actually probably don't correlate at all. But now we're getting a nice line at 0.5, and you have 5 books that like the over. Usually your hits, runs, and RBIs are at 1.5. So when I look at this, I think we're getting a good discount. I don't really care who the player is. 0.5, you got 3 ways to do it. And it literally will only take 1 at bat. You don't even have to have a runner on. You just get a single and you're good. All right, so that's the first 0.5. We got Juan Soto over 0.5 runs. We can look at that one. We have Orlando Arcia over 0.5 strikeouts. Just 2 data points on this one. Got a lot of run props. So we just took the over on Vidal Brujan, hits, runs, and RBIs. And now he has a line of under 0.5 hits. So what that tells me is that he's going to get this over on his hits, runs, and RBIs by drawing a walk and scoring a run, or getting hit by a pitch and scoring a run, or driving in a run through like a sac fly. I'm not married to the 0.5 props. I like playing them. It's possible more value opens up later today. 0.5 hits for Jonah Bride. You're getting a lot of books on this one that like the over on Jonah Bride. Jonah Bride plays. So that's the second Miami Marlin that we're seeing here. We can't play, but I don't know if we could play both of those in the same slip. Let me try it. All right, let's see. Jonah Bride over hits and Brujan over hits, runs, and RBIs. Nah. It's not gonna let me. So I'm gonna keep Brujan in there. Vladdy under 0.5 runs. Peterson over walks. Matt Chapman over 0.5 runs. All right, let's go back to the top. I'm not really seeing a lot of 0.5s that I like here, so I'm not going to force anything. Let's just see if we can find 2 other plays to make a quick 3-pick on better. And then we'll get out of here. Hopefully, hopefully we can find two quick plays. All right, so we have Olsen over his hits, runs, and RBIs. That's not just getting a lot of juice, but it's getting heavy juice on that one. Let's throw Olsen in there. Olsen over hits, runs, and RBIs. See, there's Hunter Green over total runs at 1.5. So that's what we saw on props.cash when we were doing our research. That obviously works in our favor if he gives up 2+ earned runs, because taking the under on his fantasy score, we need him to give up a few runs. And so it looks like that one is going to help out the fantasy prop. Let's see. Harold Ramirez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That one looks solid. Bryce Terang over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That one looks a little better. You got 4, 5, 6 data points on that one. Identical percentages to hit. And you're also getting 1 more data point. Let's put Terang in there. And this is in the same game. So we got Olsen over hits, runs, and RBIs. You got Bryce Terang over hits, runs, and RBIs. And then we're going to go with the Vidal Brujan over 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And with the three picks, I always go with the perfect play, which is a non-insured play. So it's 5x but if you get one wrong, the slip is sunk. You could go with the dynamic play, which is you get 2 out of 3, you still hit, but you're only getting a 2.25 payout on all 3 right. So it is a risk I'm willing to take because the upside is there. So I'm going to go with that perfect play on this one. But when I build out 5 picks on BETR, I always go with the insured. 3 picks are a little different. All right. And once this shows in my notes, I'll share the link. And then I'll share it in the chat, and then we'll be good to go for today. So that will be a total of 3 slips that we built out on the stream. 1 on BETR, 1 on PrizePicks, and 1 on Underdog. Bam. There you go. Harris. Dwayne, what's up, man? I almost called you just Harris. You got 2 first names. Charlie Morton over strikeouts. Adames under 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. You have David Peterson over 4.5 strikeouts. You have Brandon Drury. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Under hits, runs, RBIs. Vladdy over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Dwayne says Adames would be a better option for a career 118 against Morton. Yeah, we dug into this one too. We dug into that one too on props.cash. His BVP against Morton was not strong. But looking at his last 5, last 10, a little bit better. Same thing for Kyle Schwarber. His numbers against Montgomery, not the best. Just one hit and 5 at-bats, I think it was. But what he's been doing over his last 5 and 10 games, it's sometimes one of those situations where a player is just too hot. And so you just look to capitalize on the streak. But those are all solid plays too. All right, 3 slips built out on the stream. Tell them if you want. They're in the chat. We'll give the Fantasy Optimizer one quick look to see if anything new has popped up. I'm not going to build out another slip, but if you want to just add these to a slip or just screenshot it or write them down or whatever the fuck you do, go ahead. Value changes every 5-10 minutes. So if you miss out on a good play, just wait. There'll be another one. It's player props. All right, so Hunter Green's still at the top here under his fantasy score. You got 3 books that like the under on this one. Grilks under 33 first 2 map kills. I would like to see at least one other book take some action on that one. Furlan under 25.5 first 2 map kills. Your esports plays are well represented. The problem is you're not getting a lot of data points on these. So if you want to roll them anyway, you can. I personally like 2+ data points when I look at a player prop, especially esports. You have Drew Brown, our man Drew Brown. We went with his over, a week or 2 ago? He crushed, man. I think he finished with like 300 passing yards. This one looks good. If you want to play this one, man, FanDuel has it at 302. PrizePicks is giving it to you at 288. I mean, that's a really good middling opportunity. Also, if you play on FanDuel, take the under on FanDuel, take the over on Drew Brown, and let him finish with 300 on the dot. 302. He can finish as high as 302 and still go under on FanDuel. So I'm sure PrizePicks will bump this up at some point. That's just too big of a discrepancy. Let's see if Underdog has it, because if Underdog has it, then you can just do the middling on that and go under on whatever. Unless Underdog has it for lower than 288, then you just go over on both of those players. Let's see. Riley over bases. You have Henry Malloy over bases. There's our boy Bryce Terang. So we play Bryce Terang's over on BETR, and then we're getting it also on Price or Underdog. So it's on 2 different platforms. I'm really looking at this Asia Wilson under rebounds. It's going to get bumped down to 11 at some point. If I just had to throw a really quick slip in here, just based off what I'm seeing, you know, I already like this LeBron over. You go under on Asia. There's your 2. Go over on Riley, over on Malloy. There's 4 picks right there. This one's getting a lot of juice to support. Going under on Guterich points, you could do that. That'd be a 5. Trying to see if anything correlates with plays that we've already put in without dropping too far down here. I mean, that's a 5 pick right there, but you can even throw in this Tabura over 2 takedowns. If you know your MMA, if you feel like that's a good line, it is grading out really well. 57% chance to hit. I mean, there's a lot of value on Underdog. You can build out probably within 5 minutes. You can probably build out 10 slips if you're getting those in quick. So I suggest you play on Underdog as well as PrizePicks, as well as BETR, as well as Parlay Play, as well as Dabble and Flip. As many books as you can. You don't have to be a degenerate. Just because you have an account on these player prop formats doesn't mean you have a sickness or a disease. It's options. It's options. It's like restaurants are options. You know, there's tons of different restaurants, right? Not every restaurant serves the same hamburger or steak. You can't say, oh, I had steak, I have had it everywhere. No, you haven't. So you play player props on PrizePicks, you don't know what it's like to play on other pick'em sites, and there's different promos and different things you can take advantage of, and just better opportunity for you to build bankroll. Sleeper's another one. Look to Sleeper. Right? We haven't seen a Judge player prop all day. Here's one on Sleeper. There's another one on Sleeper. There's Matt Olson. We're going over on his hits. His hits, runs, and RBIs. He better get a hit today. Just options, you know, just options. Oh, you know what it's like? It's like going to a grocery store and they're out of something. They're out of eggs. And you're going, oh, there's no more eggs in the world. There's no more eggs ever. But if you just go to another grocery store, they got the eggs, right? I don't like the value on this pick'em site. Oh, all the value sucks today. Or I can't find a good player prop. Oh, then you go to Underdog or BETR and you're like, oh, there's more here. Yeah. So the more options you have, I think the better off you are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's live stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Do me a favor and hit that like button on your way out, because it does mean a ton. It helps this channel grow and reach new viewers every single day. We built out 3 slips on today's stream: BETR, PrizePicks, and Underdog. We're looking for a haymaker today. We've been just jabbing all week long. We're setting up that overhand right. Hopefully it happens today, and we can have a nice little triple-digit cash, if not more, come through for us today. But once again, I appreciate y'all being here. Consider subbing up to the channel. Make sure those notifications are turned on so you don't miss out on tomorrow's Player Prop Talk live stream right here on the channel at 9 a.m. And until tomorrow morning's live stream, Chavez is out.